Out here camping in beautiful Hardy Lakes, and now we're going to cook up our first meal in our new large and improved Men Grills pressure cooker. This one here will actually definitely be perfect for making food for large groups. Tonight for dinner we're going to be preparing up some beef with some mushrooms, some carrots, and about 6 pounds of potatoes, all cooked up within some red wine and some beef broth. We went ahead and sprayed some oil inside of the pressure cooker. Now we're going to go ahead and saturate the meat with some seasoning. So first seasoning we're going to use is going to be some Four River Smokehouse brisket rub. Then we're going to do some to this piece as well. Next, we're going to add some pepper. Then some salt. This one's done. Plop it in the cooker. Now, before we go ahead and add in any of the vegetables, the seasonings, the broth, we're just going to go ahead and plop the pressure cooker right into the fire. And what's one wonderful thing about this pressure cooker is you don't actually have to use it as a pressure cooker. You can use it as a standardized pot without using the lid. So we're going to set it in the fire and kind of sear the outside of the meat a little bit before we start adding everything in and sealing up the lid. The meat is nice and seared now, so now we're going to go ahead and add in some beef broth. Once the beef broth's added in, then we're going to also add in some wine. And now we're just going to put the lid on there and let it boil up. So we had some moderate weather activity out here. So I didn't get this on video, but we actually added in a wee bit more water, and we also added in 2 3-pound bags of potatoes. So now we're going to plop in 2 sticks of butter along with the wrapper. Pull the wrapper on out. Then we have our other stick of butter on here on standby, thanks to Kevin. So we're going to go ahead and do this one-handed. And there we go. So then we're going to put this back on here, seal it up, toss it back on the fire, let it cook for a bit more before we add in the carrots and the mushrooms. So we let the potatoes cook up for a bit, so now it's time to add in some carrots into the concoction. Now we just got to go ahead and grab our onion and our mushrooms, dump them in there, seal it back up, and let it cook for the remaining amount of time. Now it's time to put my knees in the mud and get really nasty. And we're going to plop in some onions, dump in a few mushrooms. Once the mushrooms are added, then we're just going to give it a quick little stir, seal it up, throw it back on. Let me stir it up. So we got it's dark now, as you can tell, but we got Kevin here is going to be the crash dummy, and he's going to unscrew the lid. He's going to take one for the team. Katie is allegedly bringing a ladle. Katie has arrived with the ladle. It is open. Katie's going to give it a stir. Whoa! Alright, so here's an update.
That's the funny thing, right?
That's us.
On the, we had a slight odd chemical reaction that occurred. Some carrots flew everywhere. It looks like Katie's going to be okay. So Kevin, how's it looking so far?
It smells delicious. I can't wait to eat it. I've had this before in the smaller pressure cooker, and it's just amazing. It's a really simple meal to make. Just dump some contents in there, put it over hot coals or a fire, and just sit back and relax.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and scoop out some servings, give it a try, see how it tastes, and let you know how everybody likes it, and also a update on Katie's hand after the explosion.
The food is actually delicious. It was really tender. You could stick a fork in it and it would just fall apart. The potatoes were excellent. Just an explosion of flavor.
Katie, so how was the dinner? How was the spoon? How was the food? How was everything?
I was 10 out of 10. Would not recommend the ladle. It was great.